Obviously, very close game through 3 quarters there, and very proud of the effort that our guys gave. We talked about for the last 2 weeks. We had a bye week last week, and then going into this week, really felt like our guys were in a great state of mind. We really talked a lot about mentality and approaching things the right way, and really felt like our guys really bought into it. We really had no pressure on us, and we tried to keep that, and I think we really played that way. Obviously, you got to be able to do that for 4 quarters, but the effort was there, the attitude was there. Obviously, we got to be able to finish things out. We got to be able to execute some things down the stretch. But all in all, for the number 5 team in the country to come, up here again, and I felt like our guys didn't back down, and they kept fighting, they kept competing, and very proud of them for that. Obviously, I wish the score was a little bit different in the outcome at the end, but all the way through that up until that 4th quarter, I felt like guys really had the right idea, and I thought defense played lights out. We gave up a few lack of focus plays there at the end, and I think they just kind of started to wear down a little bit. But we had a new quarterback today, and I thought he showed a lot of promise, and I thought there was a lot of really good things that took place, and so I think this is a great building block, and I think maybe the score doesn't even indicate how excited I am for the growth that's taking place with this team. So with that, I'll open to any questions.
Just to kind of speak on the plays where you guys got hit over the top. Would you put that more on lack of focus, or were y'all really trying to move some men up to help out with the run, and that was maybe a byproduct of it, or
right?
What would you
it's
try to
probably
do?
A little bit of the both and the same. Guys, obviously they run the ball, and coming into this game, they averaged 268.3 yards, I think, something like that. And so guys were aware of that. I think we wanted to really stop the run. So what happens is obviously individual focus needs to really come into play, and you still need to be able to read your keys and stay focused on your responsibility and execute. And so we just had a couple of those that were errant mistakes, and obviously you got to be able to do that for 4 quarters, and you got to play the run, and you got to be able to take care of responsibility in the pass as well. We were able to do that, I think, in the first 3 quarters, and then it comes down, and you start to get fatigued a little bit, and that's the mark of being able to just persevere and fight through. And so we needed a little bit more of that tonight.
As a whole, it seemed had a little more success running the ball in this game than we have the past few weeks. But yeah, we had a good field position several times, I think, through the 2nd and 3rd quarter, and we're unable to really come away with anything more than field goals.
Right.
Just what do you plan to do moving forward to help be able to finish?
Yeah, which has been an area of concern and emphasis, and trying to figure out what to do probably all year long. We've got to be able to just have a mentality, and we've got to make sure we put guys in the right positions down there. But I think the red zone mentality on both offense and defense, it's not only about what plays you run. It's got to be 11 guys really smelling blood in the water and going after it. It's just like at the end of the game there, I was a little bit upset with the defense because there was only about 2 guys that were trying to tackle the ball carrier when they got down to our goal line. The other 9 guys kind of, they were just let up a little bit. Well, it's the same thing offensively. When you smell it, you got to go, and you got to go after it. You got to get it. And I think we got to create a little bit more of that.
And as far as the passing game, it seemed like you were going for a ton of short passes. Was that more because just inexperienced at quarterback, or was that game plan even regardless of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Reggie is a true freshman, had no college snaps up until this point. Trying to just get him comfortable, trying to get him some high percentage throws, and work him into the offense as best as we could, and try to be efficient and effective with what we're doing with him. And I'm really proud of him. Really thought he had a great just week of preparation. We didn't really make that decision until midway later this week here, and thought he really handled it well.
And talk about your uncharacteristic of your team so far this year, your penalties that hurt in some situations. And also, you had some drop passes today as well that you guys don't usually have.
Absolutely. I think, penalties is obviously, it's discipline. You know, you gotta be able to do what you're supposed to do at any given moment and do it the right way all the time and keep doing it that way, no matter if fatigue sets in, no matter if you get out of position, no matter if the other guy's hitting you hard, whatever it is. And we didn't do that quite as well today. And I don't know if maybe having the week to, you know, going to the bye week and we hadn't played a game in 2 weeks, and if that, you know, just kind of got us in good habits of being disciplined, it might add a little bit of something to it. But I think, you know, really all in all, we've got to be able to control, you know, just ourselves, our techniques, and our habits a little bit better. I was disappointed with the penalties, and you know, we've got to talk about that and make sure that we get those sorted out to where we're not beating ourselves. It's decisions that we can make that can help us better. And, you know, we've got to be better about that and making better choices as to the body position and techniques that we're putting ourselves in.
Sort of a two-stage question. Talk about Reggie, what you saw from him in practice this week, what you saw from him in the game today, and sort of the value of your quarterback position as you move forward.
Sure. Yeah, Reggie. I think Reggie gives us a great opportunity to win. And his preparation this week, he really brings a good moxie to that position. I was talking with Coach Wallace before the game. We were talking about both of our quarterback situations. Their quarterback is out as well, their first and their second string guy, and they went with their third guy. And so I think, you know, he just has a little bit of the it factor that really helps his cause. And until you really get around a guy and you're evaluating and comparing situations, you can kind of see that from Reggie. And so it's fun to watch him in practice. The guys really gravitate towards him, and he really does a nice job of fixing mistakes, making corrections, and he's dedicated to learning and really taking it serious. And so I anticipate, you know, I don't know how quick Seth will get back in the mix, but I expect there to be a quarterback battle. And right now, Reggie Pinner is our starting quarterback until we see anything different in practice.
Coach, like you said, today was a big challenge, number 5 team in the country. It's just starting off a homestand though, got a couple more home games in a row after this. So what do you do with the team just move forward, you know, keep the season going as far as got some more home games, chance to get things going?
Yeah, well, obviously there's, you know, we're 1-4 right now. There's opportunity to win games. You know, we need to improve some things within that to be able to actually win. And, you know, that's, we don't talk about winning a lot, but that's what everybody wants. And so we got to be able to do things that lead us and get us to that point. And so we still have, you know, 5 more opportunities to win games, and we can do that. I think tonight was a really great example of guys, this was my message to the team afterwards, was they can be who they want to be, and they can make choices to put themselves in position to do that. And there's a lot of growth that's taken place, and there's a lot of great things that's taken place. It's just obviously the record isn't quite showing for that right now, but you know, we played the number 5 team in the country today, and they're pretty good. They're pretty dang good. So we've got to keep battling. We got to keep our mentality right. We got to keep stirring the energy. And you know, as the head coach, I've got to be the leader of that, and I've got to make sure that every tone that I set, every time we go out to practice, every time we go into meetings, every time I step in this building, that they are feeding off my energy and knowing that we're putting ourselves in great position as we go along here.
If we could just talk a little bit about the execution of the special teams unit. I think it was 2 times in a row y'all down them within 5 or 10, and some of that had to do with field position beforehand, but just talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I think our kicking game really gives us an advantage, and we can really play to the strength of both of our kickers. Michael Doss, our punter, really does a great job, and then Connor Haskins, you know, he's a weapon for us as well. And so we rely on that to really be able to change the field and hopefully give our defense a long field behind our backs and make an offense drive on our defense. I think if our defense is able to make an offense drive 80, 85, 90 yards, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to do that over the course of 4 quarters. I think, you know, that's obviously what we want. And then, you know, Connor, when we get to that 35-yard line and going in, I think, you know, he missed one today, but, you know, he's pretty automatic. He's pretty dialed in and gives us a great chance to come away with at least 3 points every time. So very proud of those guys, and that is a weapon for us, and we want to try to use that to our advantage as much as possible.